The Danny Kaye Show. Yes, it's the Danny Kaye Show with Eve Arden, Lionel Stander, yours truly, Ken Niles, and the outstanding music of America's top band, Harry James and his music makers. Now, for your entertainment, we present the amazingly amusing talents of the one and only Danny Kaye. Well, today is the day our hero, Danny Kaye, gets back from his happy and hectic trip to New York. Harry James, the orchestra boys, and myself are all down here at the Los Angeles Union Station waiting for Danny's train to come in.
Ken, are you sure Danny's on the Super Chief?
Well, Harry, just to check up, I'll ask the station master. Oh, pardon me, sir. Have you any idea if Danny Kaye is on the Super Chief?
Is Danny Kaye on the Super Chief? Is Danny Kaye on the Super Chief? Just listen to this wire I got from the conductor. Quote, to make run over mountains, we hooked pusher engine on the rear of the train. Somehow, a fellow named Danny Kaye got into the cab of this engine. The front engine pulled the train west. At the same time, Kaye put the rear engine in reverse and pulled the train east.
Arriving on track 4, a long, thin Super Chief.
Yeah, Danny's on the train, all right. Hey, there they are. Hey, there's Danny. Hiya, Danny.
Hiya, welcome back, Danny.
Well, how are you? How are you, Harry?
Well, we really missed you.
Well, we missed you too, Harry. Gosh, Evie, isn't it wonderful to come back after a long journey and have your friends welcome you with open arms?
Yeah.
It's really friendship. It touches me right here. I don't know what to say. I'm so overwhelmed. I'm overcome. I'm overjoyed.
You're overacting, too.
Oh, Harry, before I forget, I brought you a present from New York. Here, open it up.
Gee, thanks. Just what I always wanted. An autographed picture of Benny Goodman.
I knew you'd like it, Harry.
Well, I've got a little present for you, too, Danny. Here, open it up.
Oh, gee, thanks. Just what I've always wanted. An autographed picture of Sammy Kaye.
Excuse me, Mr. Kaye. I'm a reporter.
Oh, a reporter?
Yes, I'm peeling from the Pasadena Sun.
That's too bad. Why don't you move to Pomona?
Now, Mr. Kaye, about your New York trip, anything interesting happen?
Oh, of course. Plenty interesting. Especially on the way back. I made my notes in my diary. If you like, I'll read them to you.
Oh, fine.
Yeah, let's see. We left New York on Wednesday. That's Monday, Tuesday. Oh, yeah, Wednesday. Here it is. Dear Diary, Evie and I went over to Grand Central Station and boarded the train for Hollywood. Now, just as we were getting Evie's baggage safely into a compartment, Evie said...
Danny, I don't have any change. Would you take care of the tips for my baggage?
Oh, sure, honey. How much do you usually tip a porter?
Quarter for each bag.
Okay. Here you are, Sam.
Thank you, sir.
Here you are, Henry.
Thank you, sir.
Here you are, Eddie.
Thank you, sir.
Here, Joe.
Thank you, sir.
Frank.
Thank you.
Charlie.
Thank you.
John. Tom.
Thank you.
Fred.
Thank you.
Terry.
Thank you, sir.
Lou. Al.
Thank you.
Ben. Oscar. Joel.
Thank you.
How did he get in here?
Well, anyhow, I'm glad I'm traveling light this trip.
Well, with Evie and her 33 fine pieces of baggage, I proceeded to my car. I was just making myself comfortable when the conductor came in.
Mr. Kaye, I hate to disturb you, but all the space on the train has been taken. Would you mind sharing your compartment with another gentleman to Chicago?
Oh, why, not at all, sir, not at all. Tell him to come right in and make
Thank
himself
you.
at home.
Thank you, Mr. Kaye. This way, sir.
I think you're too much, conduct.
Hello. What do you know about that if it isn't my own vocal teacher, Professor Tortoni?
Well, this is a surprise.
It certainly is.
My boy, my prize of pupil Denji Kaye. Oh, it is a great honor to let you share your compartment with me. Are you?
If I? I understand you had a little trouble finding some space on the train, Professor.
Right, yeah. You see, when I got on board, all I'm going to have is a ticket for a seat in the coach.
The cooch?
Right, yeah? So I'm speaking to the conductor, and he's giving me a compart in the Pulamina.
The Pulamina?
Oh, sure. And you know, look, a Pulamina is a coach where you pull down to the ceiling, push him up at the bottom of the seat, and out comes Bertha. Danger Kaye, do I make myself hard to understand?
Not at all, Professor, not at all. You confuse me very easily. Well, we've got a long ride to Chicago, Professor, so we'd better get some sleep, huh? Which berth would you like, the upper or the lower?
I'm your guest. You take the upper.
No, I insist. You take the upper.
I'm a sister, too. You take the upper.
I'll tell you what we'll do. We'll toss a coin to see who sleeps in the lower, huh? Go ahead, toss the coin.
No, you toss the coin.
No, you toss it.
No, you toss.
What we'll do? We'll cut high card to see who tosses the coin to see who sleeps in the lower. Go ahead, cut the cards.
No, you cut the cards.
You cut them.
No, you cut them.
Tell you what we'll do. We'll draw straws. The man who draws the long straw cuts the cards to see who tosses the coin to see who sleeps in the lower. Go ahead, draw a straw.
No, you draw straw.
You draw.
No, you draw.
I'll tell you what we'll do. We'll roll dice. The man with the highest roll draws the straw to see who cuts the cards, to see who tosses the coin, to see who sleeps in the lower. Go ahead, roll the dice.
No, you roll the dice.
No, you roll.
No, you roll.
Tell you what we'll do. We'll match numbers on the bills, on dollar bills. The man with the highest number rolls the dice to see who draws the straw, to see who cuts the cards, to see who tosses the coin, to see who sleeps in the lower. Now go ahead, read the numbers on your dollar.
Now, you read the number.
Oh, I'll tell you what we'll do. We'll get it.
Chicago, last stop, all out.
Thursday. Dear Diary, didn't get any sleep since New York. Was too busy tossing coins, cutting cards, rolling dice, and drawing straws all night long. Well, when the train stopped at Kansas City, I got out and walked up front towards the engine, you know. And the engineer, a big, strong hulk of a man, said...
Hello.
Oh, hello. You the engineer of the Super Chief?
That's me, Casey Jellison.
Casey Jellison. Well, how nice. Have you been an engineer very long?
Oh, sure. I worked on a lot of roads. The New York Central, the Pennsylvania, the B&O, the CNN, and the LS and MFT.
I don't... The LS and MFT? What road is that?
That's the Tobacco Road. Do you know anything about railroads? Do I know anything about railroads?
My good man, you're talking to Cowcatcher Kaye, the engineer of the old Cannonball.
You mean the old Cannonball?
I mean the old Cannonball. Cannonball is running great, trying to make connections with the nickel plate, and then the nickel plate's running fine, trying to make connections with the old Sioux line, and then the old Sioux line keeps to the rail, trying to make connections with the Royal Mail, and then the Royal Mail, trying to see, the Atchison and Topeka, and a Santa Fe, and then the Santa Fe, nothing flow, trying to keep up with the B&O. The B&O runs like a fountain, trying to make connections with the Iron Mountain, then the Iron Mountain is really terrific, trying to keep up with Southern Pacific, the old B, running like well, trying to make connections with the M and St. L. The M and St. L, I must confess, is trying to keep up with the Hartford Express. The Hartford Express is going insane, trying to make connections with the Boston and Maine, and then the Boston and Maine, and beat them all, trying to make connections with the Cannonball, and then the Cannonball, running fine, trying to make connections with that old Cannonball.
And now, for further reports of his thrilling train trip from New York, let's turn another page of Danny's diary.
Friday. Dear Diary. Funny thing happened to Eve this morning. I wish I could remember it. She had a slight encounter with a club car wolf. Now, Evie was sitting in the club car playing solitaire when...
Let's see now. The red jack goes on the black queen, the black 8 on the red 9, and as long as nobody's looking, I'll sneak the ace of spades out of the pack. Now, the red queen...
Hello, beautiful. Going to California?
Possibly. Now, the black 10 goes on the red jack.
Playing solitaire, huh?
Yes, and let's keep it that way. Now, the red 9...
Traveling alone?
No, the rest of the train is going with me.
Quite a sense of humor.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, that's what I like about train travel. Just think, a moment ago we were perfect strangers.
That was perfect, wasn't it? Is this guy corny? I bet the next thing he'll say is, you look lonesome, beautiful.
You look lonesome, beautiful.
Bingo.
You know, you look kind of familiar to me.
Oh, no. This guy will set Wolfing back 20 years.
I bet we have some mutual friends, too. Do you know Charlie Johnson of Seattle?
Charlie Johnson?
Uh-huh.
You mean good old Charlie Johnson?
Yeah.
Never heard of him. Now crawl back into the woodwork and finish your dinner, termite.
Oh, no offense, beautiful. You know, sometimes I unconsciously say the wrong thing. I'm beginning to think I'm my own worst enemy.
Not while I'm alive, you're not.
What a sense of humor. Say, this air conditioning is making it kind of chilly in here, huh? Let me put my arm around you and protect your little neck from the draft. There.
Ouch!
What's the matter?
You stuck me with your chicken inspector's badge.
Say, beautiful, has anyone ever told you you ought to be in pictures?
Well, people have said that I resemble Eve Arden.
Eve Arden?
Uh-huh.
Why, she looks all right on the screen, but you ever seen her in person? She's nothing but a tall, skinny bag of bones.
Why, you...
Hello, Evie.
Eve?
Certainly, this is Miss Eve Arden.
Eve Arden?
Yes, my railroad Romeo. And now, have you anything else to say to this tall, skinny bag of bones?
Yes.
What?
May I have your autograph?
Well, Danny, before we examine the next entry in your daring diary, Harry James and his music makers have a few musical footnotes to add. Here's their own distinctive arrangement of The Very Thought of You. the next entry in your diary, Danny?
Well, since you're peeking over my shoulder, Kenneth Niles, you might as well read it.
Okay.
Okay.
Dear Diary,
Today.
this is still Friday, and Eve Arden is certainly having a busy day. She was sitting in the lounge car, still trying to finish her game of solitaire, when a little boy walked up to her and said,
Hello, beautiful. Going to California?
Well. A dehydrated wolf. What's your name, little boy?
My name is Daniel QPK. I'm 5.5 years old. Would you like a bite of my lollipop?
Why, yes, thank you.
Oh, no, not that side, Mom, this side.
Why, what difference does it make?
Because this is the side that fell on the floor. I want you to lick off the bug germs.
Bug germs?
Yeah.
I don't see anything.
Oh, you can only see the bugs with a microscope. The bugs are invisible. Invisible! She don't hear very good.
Well, make yourself invisible and let me finish this game of solitaire.
I don't mind.
Go on now.
I want to stay right here and read my book.
Oh, a book? What is it, Little Red Riding Hood?
Oh, no.
Well, what is it?
Amber.
Here, let me have that book.
Oh, no. You're too young.
Now put that book away and I'll tell you a nice, sweet story.
Okay. All right. How that's what I'll do. I'll climb up on your lap and I'll snuggle up real close.
This kid is older than he looks. Now, what kind of a story would you like to hear?
What kind of story? I would like to hear a story about animals. I love animals. I once went to the circus, and I saw a rhinoceros, rhinoceros costume, rhinoceros, and then I saw effluent, and then I saw a hippo on top of the omnibus.
All right, I'll tell you a story about animals. Once upon a time...
we have a dog at home. His name is Sport, but we call him Brownie because he's black.
Now, that's silly. Besides, you shouldn't fib about your dog.
He's not a dog. He's a cat.
Your dog is a cat?
Yes. Because his name is Sport, and we call him Brownie because he's black.
I'd like to get a look at him.
Oh, you can't do that. He's gone. He died and went to horsey heaven.
Now, why should a dog that's really a cat die and go to horsey heaven?
Because his name is Sport, and we call him Brownie because he's black.
Look, little boy, why don't you go away?
Tickets, please. Have your tickets ready.
Here's mine, conductor.
Thank you. Now, what about your little boy?
My little boy? I'm not this boy's mother.
You're not?
No, you may not believe this, Mr. Conductor, but her and I is on our honeymoon.
Oh, now, come now. Why should a pretty girl like her marry a little boy like you?
For my money.
Conductor, any resemblance between this little boy and myself is purely coincidental. Now, go away, little boy. Go away.
Don't holler at me. I'm very sensitive. Besides, I'm just getting over being sick.
Oh, I'm sorry. What was wrong with you?
Well, first I had the chicken coop. Then I got the weasel. And after that, the bumps. And now I got the hookup. I got him for my sister.
Oh, your sister has the hiccups.
Oh, no, she's a little girl. She has the she-cups.
Well, are they doing anything for her?
Oh, yes. The doctors sticked her with sulfanilamine, and then they gave her penicillin.
Now, look, sonny boy, don't bother me. Now, never mind the mama. Why don't you be a nice, quiet boy and just look out the window? Go ahead now, look out the window.
Okay, will do. Roger. Oh, boy. Woo! Look at the train. It's going so fast. Oh, I'm guiding by the countryside. Look at all those telephone poles going by. Whee! 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 That was two of them together. Oh, look!
What now, little man?
We're going around the turn, and there's a cow standing on the tracks in front of the locomotive. Oh, you better look out!
Oh, my goodness. What happened to the poor cow?
One meatball!
Well, Danny, that brings your diary up to date, doesn't it?
Well, not quite, Kenneth. You see, when I came home, I found a lot of interesting mail. So many nice people said so many nice things. And adding up their requests, I got in touch with Harry James, and we immediately started rehearsing Minnie the Moocher. Thank you. Now, for this song, if you all remember, we need a great deal of help. Now, as I will sing the phrase, I expect you to unleash your golden throats and sing back with me, and we'll have a lot of fun. All right, Harry, let's take it away. Folks, here's a story of Minnie the Moocher, a regular gal with a solid future. She was the sweetest and the neatest frail, but Minnie had a heart as big as a whale. Hi-de, hi-de, hi. Hi-de, hi-de, hi. Hee-hee-dee-hee-dee-hee. Hee-hee-dee-hee. Ooh-hoo-hoo-hoo-hoo. Ooh-hoo-hoo-hoo. Hi-de, 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 hi-de. Hee-dee-hee. Ouvrez la fenêtre, j'ai ou chat. Hi, hi. Hi, hi. Roof, roof. She got a crush on a popular idol. His wave of fanfare was practically tidal, made it. He went and married a movie star. Poor Minnie beat her heart out, ate to the bar. Hoo-dee-hoo, dee-hoo. Hoo-dee-hoo, dee-hoo. Hey-dee-hey, dee-hey. Oh-dee-oh-dee-lay. Diggy bouncing. Diggy digab up. Diggy doodly beep. Diggy him down to get the doodly beep. Pass on to get the doodly beep. Pass on to get the case and get the doodly beep. Zoom. Go ahead. This ends this story and it ends my song. She was just a good gal, but they done her wrong. In Dublin's fair city, the girls are so pretty. 'Twas there that I first met sweet Molly Malone. She drove her wheelbarrow through streets wide and narrow, crying cockles and mussels, alive, alive, oh.
She was a fishmonger, and faith is no wonder. Her mother and father were fishmongers too. They drove their wheelbarrow through streets wide and narrow, crying cockles and mussels, alive, alive, oh. She died of a fever, and no one could save her, and that's all I know of sweet Molly Malone. Now her ghost drives her barrow through streets wide and narrow, crying cockles and mussels, alive, alive, oh, alive, alive, oh, alive, alive, oh, crying cockles and mussels, alive, alive, oh.
I guess this takes care of all the entries in my diary. I think I'll hop a cab now and go home. Taxi! Taxi!
Hey, well, wait a minute, Dungy Kaye. I'm going home too, and it will give you great honor to let me share your taxi with you. Is it? Do you?
All right, Professor Tortoni. I'll be very happy to have you in my taxi. You get in first.
No, you first.
No, you first.
No, you first.
I'll tell you what we'll do. We'll walk. Good night.
Hello, fellas. This is Danny Kaye. Now, look, if you fellas would pick up a pencil or a pen and, why don't you drop a line to, no, that isn't what I meant. Look, why don't you sit down and, here's what I mean, fellas, listen. Danny Kaye Armed Forces Radio USA. Don't forget to write. Good night.
This is the Armed Forces Radio Service.